Every morning is an eye-opening morning on CBS This Morning. Start with responsible, intelligent information and conversation. Start with world-class original reporting. Start thinking. CBS This Morning.
Succeed in the coming 2 years to improve our economics status, we can have a kickoff for a much better future. We still need U.S. support. We still need Gulf support, and we still need a lot of investments to be injected into the Egyptian economy. This is an accumulated problem over the years, and that is why we are calling on all our friends to stand by us.
You mentioned human rights. There's also freedom of expression. And there are those who say there was more freedom of expression under the Morsi regime than there is today in Egypt. That there was more open debate, more freedom of expression. Do you agree with that? And if so, why?
No, I don't agree. And I'm honest. I'm very sincere with you. The media has not changed. Everybody can speak their mind in the newspapers and in the talk shows. Anybody can be criticized in the media, from the president to any state institution. There is no limitation, and this is final. There is no limitation on freedom of expression in Egypt, and we are very keen on ensuring that.
Let me cite a couple of examples. Number one, there was a comedian, very famous, who came here and created a program similar to our own Jon Stewart. It was a satire. That program was taken off the air. That's not freedom of expression. That's one example. Why was the program taken off the air?
I hope you believe me, we had nothing to do with that at all.
Here's something you do know about as well. The Al Jazeera journalist. Now, I realize you believe it's in the courts, in the judiciary. John Kerry spoke to you about this. I have asked this question often. You shouldn't be imprisoning journalists. They're not a threat to the state. And they're in prison in Egypt. And you could do something about that. Why haven't you?
I will again be honest with you. I wish Egypt had not been facing such a situation in Egypt. Regardless of their indictment, or that they are innocent or guilty or innocent, the best thing was to get them out of the country. But at that time, when they were arrested, I was not responsible for the country at that time. I was only the Minister of Defense. This is one point. The second point is that the judicial formalities are still in process. Any state understands that if there is even any violation on the part of the journalists, no country would like to imprison journalists. Countries would not need lengthy debates about having journalists in prison. I hope that I'm clear and understood. I wish they hadn't been arrested or even standing a court.
Then why don't you do something about it?
Now I can't.
Why not?
Because it is in the hands of the judiciary system. They are standing court according to the legal formalities. I cannot intervene. It doesn't mean that I don't want to intervene, but I cannot intervene.
Let me understand you clearly. You would like to intervene. You would like to see them not on trial. You disagree with the indictment, but you're saying, I can't do anything about it. That's what you're saying. They shouldn't be there. They shouldn't have been indicted.
Let me be clear. Let me be clear, and I'm responsible for the words I'm saying. I said that I did not wish for these people to be treated that way, and they would have been deported from the country and close that file, and not to be in the state that we are now. But now they are standing a trial, and they are in the hands of the Egyptian judiciary, and we are very keen in this new era of Egypt to make sure that we respect the judiciary, respect the independence, do not pass judgments on their rulings, and we are determined to uphold the judiciary system. I always have shown respect to the judiciary system. If we want Egypt to be as developed and as civilized as other countries, that no one doubts their judiciary system, then we will have to pay the price of ensuring the independence of the judiciary and not interfering in their affairs.
And what about Mr. Morsi and Mr. Mubarak? Are they still within the judicial system?
No.
Yes.
And what do they face?
أنا ما أعرفش.
I don't know.
القاضي هو اللي هيحكم.
It is the judge who is going to give the sentence according to the case, and still the legal formalities are in process.
Clearly, you talk about a new Egypt. You were a military man who became president in an election. Mr. Mubarak was a military man who became vice president to Anwar Sadat and then succeeded him and ruled Egypt for a number of years. How are you different than Mubarak?
الظروف مختلفة خالص.
The circumstances are quite different.
وإرادة المصريين
And the will of the Egyptians
فيصل في كل
was the decisive factor
إرادة المصريين
in the matter that you have just raised.
تنهي
When the Egyptians wanted to end
إرادة المصريين
a certain political rule, they ended it. When they wanted to bring Morsi, they brought Morsi to office. And when they wanted to stop this administration, they just revolted against it and terminated it.
But how will your presidency be different than a Mubarak presidency? How do you see yourself as different from him? How do you see your vision of Egypt as different from him? Because many people think this is a return to something rather than a beginning of something.
ما تستعجلوش على الحكم على
You shouldn't jump to conclusions, and you shouldn't pass early judgments.
What does that mean?
يعني
It means
مصر كانت بتتعرض لمخاطر شديدة.
Egypt was facing extreme dangers.
أنا استدعيت إذا كنت عايز إجابة.
And if you want a real answer, I was called in to save Egypt from failure.
Called in by whom?
الناس.
The people.
أنت محتاج تنزل مصر.
You need to visit Egypt and talk to the people. And
I know of the popular support against the Morsi government. I understand that. I also understand that many people, including the United States, raised real questions and said that what should have taken place is that government should have been voted out of office, not thrown out of office, not arrested, not facing severe criminal penalties. And that raised questions. And you have to speak to those questions as you try to restore a vision of Egypt that you believe reflects Egypt.
صحيح أنا عايز أقول لك وأنا قلت كلامي في الأول.
I repeat what I said earlier. I said there was not a mechanism to impeach a president in the former constitution, but now if the Egyptians
يبقى في إجراء مع
want to take action
طبقا للدستور الجديد
according to the new constitution, to terminate
الرئاسة قبل مضي المدة
the term of presidency before
ما كانش الكلام ده موجود.
before completion. Now they can with the impeachment mechanism, but the previous constitution did not have that mechanism. The only way to do that was through protesting and resorting to aggressive actions.
I mean, the interesting thing about you is that you were a military man, and after Tahrir Square, to the surprise of some people, you became the defense minister. And now I sit here, and you're the president of the country.
احنا بنؤمن بالقدر
We believe in fate and destiny,
في معتقداتنا
and in our beliefs.
في إرادة إلهية بتحكم
We know that there is a divine
كل شيء في حياتنا.
providence that control many things in our life.
نعمل كل قدره.
No one can draw the story of their life from beginning to end.
So this was not your choice. It was fate, destiny.
نعم.
Yes.
The destiny to do what?
احنا هنخش في نقاش